Welcome to the Anisumo channel. You're about to watch part 3 of the recap of a romantic comedy featuring a crazy vampire girl and other creatures of the night. At the end of the last episode, the main character, Yamoriko, and the vampire Nazuna Nanakusa are relaxing at her apartment when someone rings the doorbell. Nazuna goes to check and sees that it's one of her clients. But since she's tired from just finishing a massage on Yamori, she asks him to take care of it. What he didn't expect was that she meant he should give the massage. When he protests, she says she'll split the payment with him, and even throw in another kiss as a reward. The scene cuts to an excited Yamori ready to start the job, and a poor woman looking horrified that she's being greeted by a kid instead of Nazuna, who she's used to. When she asks his age and he replies he's 14, she can hardly believe it, especially after he admits it's his first day on the job. She starts thinking he must be going through something rough if he's working this shady job in the middle of the night. They talk for a while, and Yamori explains he stopped going to school because one night he went out and fell in love with the feeling. The woman starts remembering her younger days and how she's sick of killing herself with work every single day, until she breaks down and starts crying. That's when her boss calls. She says she has to leave even though she's in the middle of her massage, and gets ready to go. But then Yamori feels something strange in his chest and decides he won't let her leave. He's so determined to help her that he even becomes a bit intimidating, standing in front of the door and telling her she's sleeping there tonight, finishing the massage, and enjoying the night.
あんたにはここで眠ってもらう。マッサージはまだ終わっていない。
Before the woman can even process what's happening, Nazuna comes through the wall to see what's going on. When Ko asks for help and tells her the woman can't go back to work, Nazuna handles it by straight up tossing her out the window. A million thoughts run through the woman's mind, but one sticks out: am I going to die? Just then, Yamori and Nazuna swoop in to save her. Down on the ground, Yamori apologizes, saying that if you hate something so much it makes you cry, you shouldn't have to keep doing it. But the woman says he doesn't get it, he's just a kid. This isn't like school. It's work. Adults have to work even if they don't want to. One thing leads to another, and Yamori ends up telling her about his dream to become a vampire and be free. She smiles for the first time, and when she says she wishes she could become one too, Yamori promises to turn her into one after he becomes one himself. She thanks him, saying she feels lighter now, but still ends up going to work anyway. In the next scene, Yamori is buying a soda when it starts to rain, so he ducks under a bridge for cover. There are other people there too, including a guy who seems to be hitting on a girl. She walks over to Yamori and starts chatting, saying that the guy tried to offer her money to go out with him. Yamori comments that it must be tough for girls, but she says not at all, she was actually waiting for someone to hit on her on purpose. They keep talking, and she says she finds him interesting. She invites him to hang out, but Yamori doesn't seem that into it. So she steals his soda and walks off, but he's not letting that slide. He chases after her, asking for his drink back. Out of nowhere, she starts complaining that life's been super boring lately and she has no one to talk to about it. Yamori's instincts kick in and he says he's just like her, and that it's going to be okay. That's when she jumps on him and thanks him, saying this Yamoriko guy is really sweet, and then she bares her fangs. Nazuna rushes in like a wild ninja and attacks the girl, yelling, "Hands off my prey." The other vampire says that humans are either food or breeding material, and if Ko isn't going to be either, he needs to be eliminated. While they are fighting, a third figure shows up and kidnaps Ko. He gets taken to a rooftop where 4 more vampires are waiting. They say it's very simple, he needs to choose one of them, or the blonde girl from earlier, to turn him into a vampire. Otherwise, he's going to be eliminated. But he says he wants to be turned by Nazuna, which shocks all of them. They explain that vampires need to seduce their prey to reproduce, so they evolve to be beautiful and popular. But Nazuna's different, she doesn't try to be popular and is embarrassed to talk about romance. So the girls start competing with each other to see who's the most seductive, but one by one, they all fail. One's super cutesy and says she likes virgins. The redhead tries to win him over by being friendly. But nothing works. They tell him he has to choose someone or he won't live to see the sunrise, but he keeps insisting he wants to become a vampire and fall in love with Nazuna. And right as he says that, she shows up. They all get tense, thinking she's furious, but she's just dying of embarrassment. The vampires still doubt whether she even can reproduce, since she's never shown interest. One of them even tries seducing Yamori right in front of her, and things nearly get violent if not for the redhead stepping in to stop a vampire-on-vampire fight. Nazuna stays on the defensive, saying she'll attack anyone who touches him, but Yamori steps in, saying she already gave him permission to fall for her whenever he wants. At first, the others don't really get it, but they eventually accept that it's their way of making a deal, even if it's totally non-romantic. So they accept Yamori's existence and say they won't do anything, for now. Everyone's happy, and Yamori says everything's going to be fine, that no matter how long it takes, he'll keep trying to become a vampire. And just then, everyone reacts in shock, including Nazuna, who just goes, "Oh no." The redhead explains that this isn't possible because he only has 1 year to be turned into a vampire. After that, it's no longer possible. Ko is shocked that Nazuna forgot such a crucial detail, or rather, never even told him about the other vampires or their rules. Despite everything, no one had to die. They are getting ready to leave when Nazuna remembers something else she had forgotten, that massage day, when she made him a promise.
清澄さんのなんだっけ
Kissing in public is considered an obscene act in Japan, so the other vampires are all shocked. But Nazuna treats it like it's completely normal. After paying him, they leave. In the next scene, Ko is telling his friend, Ose Akira, everything that's happened. During their conversation, he realizes that if he doesn't turn into a vampire within a year, he'll definitely be exterminated. This really worries him. After leaving him deep in thought, Akira is walking to school, also concerned about her friend's fate. But once she arrives, she finds someone collapsed on the ground. It's Seki Mohiro. He apologizes for scaring her and says he stayed up all night having fun. She wonders if this is some new trend, and he explains it's because of someone he likes, someone who's only free at night. Akira realizes it's someone older and jokes that she hopes it's not a vampire. Mohiro asks what she means, but she brushes it off as nonsense. He changes the subject, saying it's been a while since Ko came to school and it would be nice if the three of them could hang out like they used to when they were kids. Cut to the blonde vampire, she bumps into Ko on the street. He tries to pretend she's mistaken and runs away, but it's no use. She tells him not to worry, that she's not planning to kill him today. They talk about his current situation, and he admits he's in trouble. He doesn't know how to fall in love, or what love even is. The woman finds his youthful innocence charming and decides to help him. The story jumps to Ko inviting Nazuna out on a date, but she immediately refuses and goes back to her video game. She says she's just discovered gaming, maybe she was playing Minecraft. Ko turns off the console, and she gets really mad, but ends up agreeing to go. They go to the movies, but she's furious that he chose a romantic comedy. So they go to a cafe instead. He tries to talk about the movie, following all the step-by-step advice he got from Seri, the blonde vampire. Nazuna notices he's acting weird and grabs his notes. After reading the whole cheesy plan, she storms off, leaving Ko disappointed. Nazuna is back at home gaming when her stomach growls loudly. She looks at the list and seems to get an idea. In the next scene, she's at his window, saying she'll give one of the things on the list a try, a stargazing dinner. She asks Ko what a date is. When he doesn't answer, she says that if what they're doing is a date, then they've been dating every night, and proceeds to suck his blood. The anime cuts to a commercial break, and when it returns, we see a familiar scene. Ko is wandering the city looking for Nazuna. Across the street, he spots Mohiro. Ko freezes up, dreading a social interaction, but then smiles after seeing him, realizing he was happy about it. He tells himself he has more important things to do. Yamori reflects that he never really saw Mohiro as a close friend, maybe not even a friend at all, because Mohiro was always surrounded by people, always popular. He's thinking about how amazing and kind Mohiro is when Akira suddenly appears. Same old exchange, Mohiro says it's late for her to be out, and she replies it's early, she just left the house. They talk a bit, and Yamori tells Mohiro that he's been hanging out with a girl at night, which is why he stopped going to school. Mohiro thanks him, saying Ko's example gave him courage. Cut to Nazuna looking for Ko, when she spots Mahiru talking with a woman. We can't hear what they are saying, and Nazuna doesn't say anything either. But an eerie suspenseful soundtrack plays. Ko shows up happy to see her, but immediately asks what's wrong when he sees her expression. She just says, with a high schooler, it seems, illicit, and holds out her hand. I take my eyes off you and you're already lost. The scene opens with Seri, irritated by someone she's been ignoring. She says it's such a nuisance, she even considered turning him into a vampire, but now she's lost interest. She sees Yamori and happily runs up to hug him, only to be stopped by a wild flying knee. Even Yamori gets mad at Nazuna, but she says it's fine since vampires are tough. The two argue, but eventually Nazuna asks why Seri's getting close to Ko if she said humans are only for feeding or reproducing. Hearing this, Seri stands up and says that's exactly why. She just wanted to annoy Nazuna a bit. She leaves, but Yamori follows, classic protagonist move. She keeps pretending, but Yamori insists. He says he figures vampires must have problems too. After a moment, she invites him to karaoke. Once there, she explains that she's super popular, and lately, that's become a problem. It's exhausting dealing with guys. Ko says he understands. He also gets annoyed when people act like romance is the only thing that matters in life. For a second, she seems to envy Nazuna, realizing why she gets along with him so well. Then they sing and have fun. Seri asks if Nazuna was okay with him being alone with her. He says she got a little mad but told him to do whatever he wanted. As they're picking the next song, a strange figure appears at the door, like a zombie, calling out for Seri and banging on the glass. Seri apologizes, saying it's because of her popularity. Ko starts panicking, but she stays calm, saying this happens a lot. Quick note here, in case you haven't noticed, this anime uses exaggerated colors for dramatic effect. For example, it might look like the room suddenly went dark, but it's just a visual technique to highlight fear and tension. I don't add any filters, got it? Great, back to the story. Ko asks what would make things better for her, so she wouldn't have to deal with that nuisance anymore. Seri gets annoyed at the direction of the conversation, saying he shouldn't try to give her advice. Why can't he just have fun with her, like he does with Nazuna? She says the solution's easy, just get rid of the guy. Naturally, Ko says she can't do that. But Seri insists, saying it's normal for vampires to dispose of humans. Ko loses it and says vampires are way too arrogant. Now she's mad, saying humans are arrogant. They don't care when someone dies, but cry foul the moment a murder happens. He says that's not it, that sometimes, sure, maybe it's necessary to take someone out, but not this guy. He may be a pain, but they could just talk. And right then, the guy enters, asking if they're arguing over him. Ko sees the look in his eyes and realizes talking won't work. Seri charges to attack, but Ko jumps in to save him. She tells Yamori to move aside, she won't mind eliminating him too. But Ko tells the nuisance that they need to run. Don't forget to subscribe to catch the next episode.